Ever have a day where you're running around busy all day, but somehow get very little done off your to-do list? Or do you find when you work from home, you get a really late start because you just can't concentrate until your space is orderly? One reason this happens is because we're doing tasks off our silent to-do list without realizing it. Hello, I'm Kate, owner of Simply Digital, the productivity software company that makes Simply Goals and Tasks. In this video, I'm going to explain the silent to-do list. It's an idea that's a bit of a buzz right now in the minimalist community. The minimalists see the problems caused by our silent to-do list and, surprise, surprise, say the solution is to go tidy our homes. I'm going to come at this from a productivity perspective. The silent to-do list can subconsciously influence what we decide to work on first. So by understanding it, we can recognize when it's happening and then consciously decide to listen to those little whispers or tell them they just have to wait. All right, enough buildup. What is the silent to-do list? A cluttered desk is an example of a silent task. Just by being there, it's a task. Like the desk itself is silently yelling out, clear me, organize me. Laundry sitting in the dryer, dirty dishes in the sink, a bill on the counter. The original definition doesn't include digital things like an email or push notification, but if those are really visual and you keep seeing them, then I'm going to say they count too. These are all silent tasks. They are visual, normally physical things in your space that are silently sending out messages asking for your attention. The dirty dishes are silently telling you to clean them. The laundry in the dryer is silently telling you to go fold it and put it away. So literally silent, but metaphorically screaming at you to give them attention. This is absolutely mentally distracting. Every time you see those things, you're interrupted by thoughts like, oh yeah, I really have to go deal with that. Or you could be feeling guilty for not having it already done. And you shouldn't be feeling guilty for choosing to work on something more important and leaving the housework or whatever it is to wait. There's always something more you could or should be doing. Just by being very visual, the task doesn't deserve a higher priority, unless you decide it does. This concept of the silent to-do list is also an explanation for what's happening mentally for people who say they need a clean workspace in order to concentrate. Arguably, it's the exact same thing, but it's an explanation for it. The idea of the silent to-do list articulates that same feeling in a better way. I never would have thought to describe it like all the things around me are nagging me and I can't concentrate until they are quiet. But now, merely having a way to articulate that feeling makes me go, oh yeah, I know that feeling. When do I get that feeling? How does it affect me? Am I okay with that, or should I try to change my behavior? And bonus, this concept has a great visual metaphor. Your dirty dishes are screaming at you. So your silent to-do list is all the tasks that are interrupting your thoughts by silently calling out for your attention every time you see them. If you want to know more, the concept and term silent to-do list was first introduced by Fumio Sasaki in his book, Goodbye Things. I'll put an affiliate link to the book in the video description. If you are interested in making changes to your physical space to have less of these silent tasks, I'll send you over to the minimalists like Fumio Sasaki. That's their area of expertise. Okay, so we've learned this new buzzword. How can we use this to be more productive? Let me tell my own story, and you can perhaps see how you could have a similar experience. So I learned about the silent to-do list because of my work. I just searched for things like to-do lists to see what people are talking about. And I liked it. So I just put it in the back of my head and moved on. Then I've been having some really productive days, weeks even, where I was setting ambitious goals for my day and then just killing it day after day. Then one day, it's getting late and I realized I hadn't even started the task that was my top priority. Even though I've been up since 6 a.m., moving at a fast pace, getting one task done after another, I still hadn't started my one big task for the day. What had I been doing? How did this happen? And it hit me. I had been doing tasks off my silent to-do list, not the agenda I had carefully planned out for myself. Now, on one hand, everything I had done absolutely needed to be done. On the other hand, my time is mine and I decide how I'm going to spend it, not some metaphorically screaming laundry. Especially in the prime of the day when I'm mentally sharpest, mindless tasks are not what I want to be doing then. So what's a better way to deal with these silent to-dos? For some tasks, I think they should just go on your real to-do list. For example, I put folding my laundry on my to-do list, and then I try to schedule it when I have a phone call with friends or family to pair a boring task with a fun one. Other housework, I batch into Friday mornings and listen to audiobooks while I do them. So something like a smudge on a mirror. It bothers me a little when I see it, but I know it'll get done Friday, and it can absolutely wait until Friday. So that leaves the really small tasks that also really can't wait. So something like wiping down a wet sink, or counter rather, or writing in your grocery list when you notice you're missing something. And for these, I think we should all just do them. Just get it done now. Even I, and remember my day job, I make a to-do list app, have to acknowledge this overhead in putting something in your to-do list and scheduling when to do it. So very small tasks, it's just not worth the overhead of putting it in your list. But while I'm not going to put dry the bathroom counter on my to-do list, I can predict that tasks like this are going to come up every day. So I don't fill all 24 hours in my agenda because I know we all just need a little time to be human. On the rare occasion that I am booked solid, then I know that day I can't let anything distract me, not even something small. So big tasks, put them on your to-do list. Small, non-urgent tasks, I recommend batching them. Pick a regular time you can dedicate to this type of work, for example, housework. Just having a plan to deal with them should turn down the volume on those silent demands for attention. And that puts you back in control of when you do this task. So many of these silent to-dos are housework related. So maybe pick a time earlier in the day before you're too physically tired, or later in the day when you're too mentally tired to do much else. And finally, the little urgent ones. Just do these. But remember when you're planning your agenda to leave a little elbow room for these types of tasks. This whole discussion is reminiscent of the Eisenhower matrix, also known as the 4-square decision matrix. That's when you get 4 boxes of important, not important, urgent, not urgent. And the takeaway, the lesson from that exercise, is to not let non-important tasks take up too much of your time. Silent tasks are not necessarily non-urgent tasks stealing your attention, but they are stealing your attention, and they may or may not be important or urgent. I think these two ideas, silent to-do list and Eisenhower matrix, work really well together. In my opinion, the biggest problems revealed by understanding the silent to-do list are 1, how it can knock you off your agenda without you realizing it. 2, it can push a lot of non-important, non-urgent tasks front and center, so you end up breaking the principles of the Eisenhower matrix. And finally, even if you just ignore the silent to-do list, it can cause some background distraction and stress. The fundamental lesson of learning about the silent to-do list is recognizing how some socks on the floor while sitting there silently are simultaneously, metaphorically, screaming out for our attention. But now that we are all experts on the silent to-do list, we can consciously choose to pick them up immediately or just tell those socks they have to wait quietly for a little while. So that's the end of my explainer on the silent to-do list. I hope now that you understand it, next time you find yourself being influenced by it, you can make a conscious decision to prioritize those tasks or not. And then moving forward, maybe my systems of blocking similar tasks or leaving room in your agenda for those inevitable urgent distractions could be good tools for you to keep the volume down in your space. As I mentioned at the start of the video, my company makes the task manager app Simply Goals and Tasks. It's unique from other to-do list apps in how it schedules tasks, which is more like a paper planner. I have a video about how, which I encourage you to also watch. If you find yourself agreeing with how I think, you might also agree with how I think tasks should be organized. I'll put a link to Google Play in the description of this video, or you can also find us on our website, simply.digital. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can support this channel by giving a like and a subscribe. I'll be in the comments, and I hope to see you again.